All I can think about is how pumped I was until I got to the dealership, walked past all the normal sized bikes and got to the little Rippler that I bought.
So a couple months ago, here's what the task was. Can we buy a motorcycle that runs, that looks decent, that's somewhat safe, as safe as a motorcycle can be, for $500? Can you buy a $500 bike?
Well, there you have it. $700. You can get yourself a running motorcycle.
Now, it kind of helped us that it was snowing outside. We didn't actually accomplish it. We didn't buy one for $500. We bought one for $700. But we gave ourselves about an hour to find a bike. So we did show for not that much money, you can be riding a bike and ride with everyone else having a lot of fun. Then we wanted to see whether we could actually make money off the bike. Now I've got a theory that pretty much any bike that runs with decent tires and that looks somewhat safe, that has a motor with it, is probably worth at least $1,200. And I think we proved that theory because we sold it for $1,200.
The guy on the...
How does that bike run? Caleb?
Now I have to be like a robot trying to rethink what I already just said.
So here's one more example of one of those scenes where me and Caleb are talking naturally about awesome stuff.
It's just flowing so easily.
And Harrison's just like holding the camera down, not even recording. So we're like, yo, turn the camera on. And then we have to fake the next, the whole thing.
No. Coming on this one?
Yeah.
He's coming from Nuevo York.
Nuevo.
Nuevo York.
You just made that up. That's not even a real place.
That's New York.
Yeah, so we actually looked it up on the map. Nuevo, it is a real place. It's actually pronounced Newark.
He's coming from New York. He's buying his first bike. He wants a cheap commuter bike. Basically, for the $1,200, I told him we're selling him the bike, like completely got over, which we just got all those repairs done.
We took it to Joe's.
Yeah.
We bought the bike for $700. Put new plugs and wires, new fuel and stuff. Got it running perfectly. It runs really, really well.
Yeah.
But then the front brake was locked up. I kind of got it unseized, so you can kind of move it, and it was all right. But then we took it to Joe's. He rebuilt he pulled the caliper and the piston off and cleaned it all out, scrubbed it down, did his thing, and now it
runs great. Oh! But use it. It stops on a dime.
That's the clutch.
Check the brake.
Oh, that's seriously why you pulled it? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. It just stops on a dime.
Look at that.
So,
Perfect.
He's driving from New York about 3-4 hours to come buy this bike from us. I guess he watches the channel, he said. He's a huge fan. He wants to be in the video. So we're helping him buy his first bike. As I just nail it, it falls over.
Epic. It is a cool bike. Maybe we can buff that out.
So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to wipe this whole beast down.
I wonder if we can polish that out.
You think?
I don't know. Okay, look at that. Look at that right there.
Yo, can we make it this one?
Let me see if we can.
Our other Maxim and this one?
I don't know if it'll change a lot.
And then you have different keys.
Can we take the Yamaha badge off the other one?
So when I said other one, we actually have a Yamaha Maxim, and it was also missing that exact same badge on that exact same side because it also has a dent on that side of the tank.
Hold on, let me see if I can polish that out real quick. That's a lot better.
It does.
Dude, that took out a lot of it.
We bought this bike, and when we were going to sell it, I had a pretty good idea of who the buyer was. It was either one of two people. One, and this is the more rare occasion, is it had like sentimental value, nostalgic value. The guy had a bike like that when he was a kid. Now he wanted another one, and he just wanted to get back on something. But more realistically, it was someone who was learning how to ride a bike. It was going to be their first bike, and I think this is the best bike for that because it's cheap, it's reliable, and you get to learn kind of the basics of motorcycles. You know what I mean? How to turn the fuel off and how to clean the carbs and how to put proper gas in it, and then you just learn how to bike. And also the cool thing about learning how to ride on a bike like this is if you lay it down, it's no big deal. You just pick it back up. A little fuel runs out of the carbs, you pick the bike back up, you fire it up, you go on your way. You don't feel bad about it. When you buy a brand new bike and you lay it down, when I say lay it down, I'm not talking about wrecking the bike, but it is common that in the first 6 months you're going to drop the bike. So that's why these are great bikes. And honestly, for $1,200, it's never going to be worth it. As long as it keeps on running, it's not going to be worth that much less than that, years down the road. This came out like 2 months ago.
I know. Should we just lock the door and turn this into like messing with customers video? What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Here to pick up a bike.
Where's the bearded wonder? You see the bearded wonder right there. Gentlemen, we're coming from New York. Freaking long drive.
How you doing, Caleb?
Iman, how are you?
What's up, Harrison?
Harrison. Harrison's the one who gets
Nice to
I can't believe that you're still working here, man. You've been fired so many times.
Let's go see the bike.
This is good. This is good stuff, Harrison. Better have that camera on.
Yeah. Please make me look beautiful, okay?
Oh, look at it. It's right there, man.
The bike.
That's it.
We just got it back from the shop. They cleaned up the front brakes and everything. It's stopping perfectly. It doesn't seize up anymore. He cleaned it all up. And
Awesome.
They're dragging through the snow was not the reason that.
You have no idea. We looked at that video 500 times.
Yeah.
I got my driver's license 4 years ago, and I've been convincing myself to try to get this. When we first got his bike 2 years ago.
what'd you get?
Right?
A Ducati Monster.
Oh, cool.
Right.
2006. I stole it. It was a pretty good deal.
And we've been shopping for one like this. I always wanted a cafe racer, of course, right? You could get a bike anywhere, right?
Right.
But, my wife, 2 little ones on a budget. We saw the video, so I get a text message from this gentleman at night. You gotta look at this video, George. It's $1,200. So what I did the next day, sat my wife down with my kids, looked at the YouTube video entitled Family Show.
With the doggy.
And with the dog, with a 5-pound Yorkie.
The dog's watching?
Yeah, a 5-pound Yorkie. You gotta watch the video. I'm the provider of the house. You gotta sit there too. Convince my wife for $1,200 we can't go wrong. It's my first bike. My wife is excited. My 7-year-old's excited. Can't wait. Can't wait. Got my best buddy that says, I'm coming with you. So we drove, we got a hitch, and here we are.
I convinced her, I said, if you ever wanted to buy, these are the guys you want to buy it from. I said, it's far. I said, it's all right, it'll be a road trip. We'll come and
I hope it's worth the drive.
Yeah, it was worth every moment. It was fun.
My first bike was a 1986 Honda Magna, and it was a V45 Honda Magna. I bought it for $600, sight unseen. I was working at a pizza shop at the time. My brother I don't know how he found it. My brother found this guy who had to sell it. He was moving out of town like the next morning. He had to sell it that night. I'm still working. I couldn't get off to actually look at it. I gave my brother the cash. He buys it, brings it back. I'm sure like all the tires were bald, but it ran. It fired up and it ran and it moved. And it was just the coolest thing ever. Because I got that bike, all my friends learned how to ride. Probably like 10 people learned how to ride on that motorcycle. And I dropped it. You pick it back up. It was no big deal. And it was an old Honda, and it ran. And I learned a lot about bikes. And I've got a special place in my heart for those old Magnas. And it was just, I don't know, it was one of the coolest experiences. You always remember the first bike you buy because it's just so exciting. It's a different level of freedom. You've driven a car for a while, but it's a different level of enjoyment and freedom, and it also has a hint of severity with it. You know what I mean? It's a little scarier, and that's probably why it's so exciting to a lot of people. And I love that bike.
Now, before Caleb cleaned up the fender, look how clean that fender. Look how shiny that fender looks. It's got a little dimple right there. But that's a shiny looking fender right there. What do you think, man? Hop on it.
Georgie, go on it. You want to boost the seat?
Yes.
Yeah? George, tell him the story about the what you telling me?
This is the way it comes.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've been looking at a few other ones on magazines. 650, right?
Yeah.
19. Same thing.
Really?
Yeah. On the other ones. Or maybe it was a thing on the 80s. I was born in 82, but
I wonder if it might have been a thing, a trend at some point in time, or if a lot of people are selling this exact same bike.
It's on like 12 different spam websites.
Yeah.
oh, this is perfect, man.
Fired up.
So this is shaft drive, right?
Yeah.
No headache, George.
So, okay, you gotta walk me through this.
All right, put the kickstand up.
All right.
Turn that key. I'm not sure if it needs a choke or not. Where's that choke at?
It's underneath right here.
Yeah, pull the
Oh,
choke.
wait, that is true.
Choke. You never touch a man's choke. That's the first rule about motorcycle riding. And then just both sides are off like a BMW. Just press that start button.
Oh, that smell. This is the brake, right?
Driving it back, right?
That's it. Let's go on.
And then if you want to shut it off, you can either turn the key or you can move that other way. Either way. I normally turn the key off just because I'll leave it on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then you kill the
And
battery.
then, then you kill the battery.
Yeah, we have to get him a battery tender.
What you think, man?
Love it. Can't wait. Hey, I'm gonna go figure it out from now on. That's what I'm gonna do.
The game plan is to start wrenching some stuff. Just have fun with it. Understand the guts of it.
Just turn it.
You know,
It's cool to. These are the best bikes to learn how to ride on.
put some club handles on
Because
it.
when you drop it, I'm not saying you're gonna wreck it, but when you lay it down in your driveway and you look, make sure no one saw you, you pick it back up and you just drive away. Because no, you know what I mean. What are you gonna do? You're gonna put another scratch on the handlebar? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's no big deal.
Right.
And then you get to learn how the fuel system works and stuff like that, and you learn more about bikes this way. Well, cool. If you want to go wrap up the paperwork with Caleb, and we'll go load this thing up in the trailer.
Cool. Come on. Thank you guys. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
glad you're still around.
You guys can come with me.
Okay.
It was so exciting to see how pumped he was about this bike. And I was pumped with him, you know what I mean? I remembered back what it felt like when I got my first bike. And, you know, it wasn't the brand name. It wasn't about, you know, who made it or how much horsepower it was or any of that stuff. It was that you've got 2 wheels. It's like it opened up a door of this new type of freedom that you didn't currently have, you know? And he was just so pumped. And I love kind of feeling, I love living that with new riders. You know what I mean? They were excited to get you excited. It's probably one of the best things about my job. Just encouraging people and getting people on bikes and just kind of living that dream all over again of like, man, this guy's getting his first bike.
You guys have fun at work.
Yeah. Very work.
I don't see any
How about that?
I don't see any tie-down strap. Let's just go give the kid a set of tank straps, all right?
All right.
I knew this bike would come to go to a good home. How old's this bike? This bike's an 81?
I thought it was 84. I could be. Nah, I'm probably wrong about that.
It's 80 something, right? So it's like 30. Let's say it's 34 years old. There's no reason this bike has lasted 30 some years old, 35 years old. There's no reason why it can't last another 30 years.
Yeah.
And think about how many how many more people are gonna learn how to ride on this bike?
True. Yeah, because this is never somebody's first and last bike.
Right. This bike is gonna do more. It probably has done more for the motorcycle riding community than I ever will.
Yeah.
You mind if I pray for you before you head out?
Oh, absolutely no.
Dear God, thank you for George. Thank you for blessing him with this beautiful motorcycle. I pray that you will keep him safe as he rides. Continue blessing him and his young family, God. Give him wisdom and discernment in all that he does, and keep him visible to the cars around him. And I know that you have an amazing plan for George's life, and I know that you're involved in that. Thank you for sending your son to down the cross for our sins, and please forgive us of all of our sins. Amen.
Amen.
Cool, brother.
Cool.
You made my day. You have no idea.
Awesome.
I hooked you guys up with a set of tank straps. I don't know if you had tied-on straps, but you got tied-on straps now.
Yeah, I got some straps.
You got straps?
Yeah.
You got more now.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, bud. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got more, man.
Thanks for
Cool. Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate it. God bless.
Yeah, have a good one. Let me know.
Yo, thanks for stopping by,
Thank you so
man.
much.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. No, we're glad to work with you.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, man.
You guys
Yeah,
gotta share my.
Bye.
You gotta share me that video, right?
Oh yeah, definitely,
All right,
man.
all right. You got my email.
Cool.
So,
All right, cool.
thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Have fun with it, dude.
He drove in and he was like big giant smile. He was like a huge smile.
Really, dude.
I can't do it because my smile is growling.
I honestly I remember buying my first bike. It was the greatest day of my life. I rode my 250 Rebel on the highway. Actually, I got on the highway, immediately got petrified, and got off the next exit. It's crazy stuff. What am I talking about?
First bike you ever got?
Oh, the first bike I ever got. All I can think about is how pumped I was until I got to the dealership, walked past all the normal sized bikes, and got to the little Rebel that I bought.
Was that you bought it at a bike dealership?
Bought it
No, you did.
for $1,200, yeah. Or maybe that's like $1,300 or something. It was crazy cheap. Yeah, and I was like looking for a bike like under $1,500-ish because I was like, I just want something super cheap because if I hate it, I just want to be able to roll off a cliff and just whatever, cut my losses. When I saw the pop-up on Craigslist and being like, is it really only $1,300? He was like, yeah, because I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was like a Sportster or something like that, like a Sportster size. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll take it. He's like, you want to put a deposit on? I was like, yeah, here's my card number right now. Put a deposit on it. So I gave him my deposit over the phone. And I started showing all the guys I work with, and they're like, you bought a 250 Rebel? And I was like, yeah, well, what's the matter? This is just a cheap bike. They're like, it's a little small. I was like, nah. And the one guy rode a dirt bike, like a 250 dirt bike. And I'm like, dude, your dirt bike's huge. It's 250. He's like, it's a lot different than that. I was like, whatever. And I went to the dealership, and I'm sitting on the Scouts. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this feels good. And I'm sitting on the Scout. Then they had a couple, like, Sportsters and stuff. And I'm sitting on, like, the Octane and stuff. Oh, dude, these feel good. And then he's like, yeah, it's around here. And I, like, walked around back. And he was, like, parked out back. And I was like, oh, that's the bike I bought. Actually, my mom had told me that I couldn't live at home and have a motorcycle for free. I couldn't live at home for free and have a motorcycle. So I bought the bike. And I called her on my way to pick it up. I had my girlfriend at the time take me to pick it up. And I called her while I was on my way, and I was like, hey, how much did you want for rent? And she was like, why are you asking? I'm like, I'm just trying to be responsible. She's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, let me talk to your dad. She's like $200 for rent or something like that. And I was like, that's cool. All right. And I just came home on a motorcycle. She was like, oh, that's why you wanted to pay rent. And I was like, yep.
Your mom is so sneaky like that.
Yeah, dude.
If she didn't know what was happening, she'd be like, oh, yeah. $1,200, dear. $1,200 a month, Caleb.
If she didn't know what was happening, she would have taken like a sledgehammer to my car.
Yeah.